Sure. Carl Eklof, title is Senior Director, Product Data Extraction and Tools here at Wiser. So that covers most of the things that involve us achieving great data quality.
My name is Devon Walczak. I am the SVP of Operations here at Wiser. So I like to describe the team as kind of the hamsters that spin the wheel. So it's our team's responsibility to make sure that everything that we sell to a customer gets implemented and maintained with high data quality and the best service quality that we can offer.
Big data translates into visibility. So what we're giving our customers is visibility into what's happening in the market from the customer's perspective. So when a customer goes to buy a particular product, what do they see? Because most of our customers are either brands or retailers, so they're seeing the world from their perspective, but it's much harder to see from a customer's perspective.
We can be, for lack of a better word, the eyes and the ears for our customers. And that comes from both the in-store data collection and the online data collection. And a lot of this, we talk about this as it relates to pricing, but it's not just price data that we're collecting. There's so much that goes into a consumer's purchase decision today. So online, you think about, reviews, you think obviously about price and promotion, but you also think about this idea that's cropping up more and more of showrooming. And you go to the store, you talk to the associate and they give you a recommendation. They tell you all of the benefits of the different competitors. And then you go home and you find the best price online. And that has a major impact on people's decisions today. And the fact that at Wiser, we're able to collect that information in stores helps provide that full picture at really what's going into these decisions.
Part of the customer experience is actually what's happening at all of the different retailers. And one of the things that is a little ironic with the term big data is one of the things that we're able to do is provide very detailed data, like within a particular market segment, like a particular zip code, but then across hundreds or sometimes even thousands of zip codes. So we can say within this particular zip code, here's the availability of this product and competing products. Thus, our customers can see both at a detailed level, but then also at a broad level, what's happening in the market and really an individual customer's experience in that particular locale. Those actionable insights, you never know where they're going to come from. And so the only way you're going to know what all of the actionable insights are is to look at everything. And so this goes back to the concept of big data, that you have to look very broadly across the entire product set, across everything that's happening in the market, to uncover those really key actionable insights and then act upon them. The notion of working manually kind of assumes that you know what you need to do and you know what someone needs to go then look into. But you really need a big data approach first to then inform what someone might need to go and do.
To do it manually, you're making a lot of assumptions that your industry is predictable. And in many cases, you could argue that it is, and in so many other cases, it's not. And in addition to that, there's more and more connectivity between online and in-store. We see this with many retailers actually starting to implement digital shelf tags. So, to do it manually assumes that you maybe at best are doing it once a day, at best. However, you implement something at 9 a.m. and by noon, the price has changed. And not only is it changed online, it's being pushed into the stores.
If there are things in your sector that are that predictable, all of your competition are probably doing them already. And success really comes down to being ahead of the competition. We can frequently understand sales velocity of particular products, and not just the products of our customers, but of competing products. So we can say, hey, you're selling, DeWalt power drills, but did you know that Porter Cable is really having a moment and you should be selling those as well? So one of the things that a lot of customers and people in general are surprised to see is that Amazon is so frequently not the cheapest. With it being a marketplace and with it being such a huge marketplace, there is a common thinking, at least I had this myself, which is that Amazon would be the cheapest because there's so much competition. But by price crawling across thousands of retailers, we frequently see that Amazon is not the cheapest. So that's one that just comes up all the time. Our customers frequently assume that their competitors are selling the exact same product that they are. And in reality, they're frequently not. So if a consumer really does want to buy a particular power drill or a particular TV or something like that, especially when we zoom in on a particular geo area, like a particular zip code, they might be the only seller in the area of that TV. Usually it does come down to not needing to be quite as aggressive on the sales price reduction. But another thing, going back to the earlier point of big data and AI, the next question is, well, what are these other competitors selling? Like if they're not selling this particular power drill, what power drills are they selling? And are they selling power drills that might be the power drill that a consumer wants more than the one that I'm selling?
We are capturing data across over 5,000 unique e-commerce sites, but that doesn't touch the number of regions and zip codes and store locations that we're adding on top of that. So we crawl and extract the data. It goes through some post-processing. We do this proprietary matching across the products that we've scraped, and then we provide that to our customers. And it's really important that we get to that regionality or that zip code or even that store level in some cases for our customers, depending on who their competitive set is and depending on what exactly they're looking to do and what their pricing strategies are. Some of our customers have pricing strategies that are highly regional. So it is critical that we don't just scrape, Target.com, because they want to understand the different prices in the different regions of Target so that they can be competitive in those regions. In other cases, they might have a competitor that is only regional. Right? It might be a small retailer that's only in the southeast of the United States, and we need to be able to gather that data in that market so that we're serving up accurate information and then they're making the right decisions based on that. If not, and we're giving them, a national price, it might not be usable to them, or they might end up making the wrong decision on it and either pricing it too high so that they actually don't get the number of sales that they should have, or too low and they're missing out on that extra profit. And that's really what we want to avoid.
AI and machine learning give us the tools to find those key actionable insights in the data. And that is revolutionizing this work that we do.
In the past, customers have taken, by and large, one of two approaches. One is, I can only be effective on this small set of my assortment. So therefore, I only want to look at this small set and I'm only going to make pricing decisions on this small set. The alternative is, I want to boil the ocean. I want every single SKU in my catalog, and I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but I just want the data and I want it all the time. And neither one of those things are the most optimal approach. Things like AI and machine learning, it will help identify more when we see specific SKUs, we see specific categories, we see specific retailers making price adjustments, and that can inform our extraction strategy to make sure that we are extracting the right data at the right time to help bolster these pricing strategies. So for the example of the person that wanted to boil the ocean, they now have a more honed strategy that helps them price and reprice their products at the right times with informed data. And on the flip side, the customer that only could do so much with so little, now it helps them expand that pricing strategy and have a greater impact on their overall business. The risk with big data, whether it's in our industry or not, is analysis paralysis. So you're going to get all of this data, and unless you have the internal team or the internal tool set or whatever it is to do something with it, you can say that you have big data all day long, but it's not actionable. And that's where what Wiser does is so helpful, right? Like, we process the data, we find those insights, we help you implement pricing strategies, and we'll serve back to you, here's what you should do with this information. And in many cases, we actually can go and change the price itself for that customer on their website.
One point that comes to mind when thinking about smaller companies is that those smaller companies are still competing with larger companies. And even if they don't have a massive IT department, being able to have the insights of what their local competitors are doing can allow them to be responsive to that and compete better frequently in that local market. So this happens a lot. Two markets that come to mind are hardware and grocery. Those are hyper local. From a customer perspective, that's as local as it gets. I also have 3 grocery stores within walking distance of where I live, and they are competing with each other. And one of them is a big retailer, franchise across the entire US, and then the other 2 are smaller ones. And knowing what the price of eggs are at the other ones helps them be competitive. And I would say, for me anyway, one of the most exciting things that AI and the large language models are affecting is our ability to understand the competitive products from a consumer perspective. This is something we've been working on for a long time, and it's always been a challenge, and I'm sure it will always be a challenge to represent, a customer that's interested in a 78-inch TV. What are all the competing TVs in that space? It's not just 78 inches, 76 inches might work. But AI gives us some tools that we're able to do that much more aggressively across different kinds of products. Also, this is a space that has traditionally required a good amount of manual effort, and Wiser, with the focus on data quality that we have invested in having humans aid that process more than most companies would feel comfortable investing. And we're still doing that, but we're also getting more from the computer models. As the models get more sophisticated, we're able to do that work better and more frequently and for more of our customers, so just at larger scale and with higher confidence in what we're doing. Nailed it.